Buenos dias, Zamboanga Peninsula. Welcome sa Kapihan sa Bagong, Pilipinas. Hatid ng Presidential Communications Office and Philippine Information Agency. Ang programang ito ay isang plataforma para sa ating mga national government agencies upang ipahayag ang kanilang mga programa at serbisyo sa taong bayan at sa mamamayan. And of course, sa ating programa po ngayon, makakasama natin ang mga attached agencies po ng Department of National Defense. We have the Office of Civil Defense, Region 9, and we have the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office in Region 9. But before that, we would like to encourage all po ng ating mga viewers to please like, share, and comment po ng inyong mga katanungan later on para po sa ating programa. We are live at PIA Western Mindanao Facebook page and other government agencies' Facebook pages, and we are also hooked up via Radio Pilipinas. With that po, we would also like to welcome all our media partners na parati po nating kasama sa ating programa all over Zamboanga Peninsula, from Isabela City, Zamboanga Sibugay, Zamboanga del Norte, and Zamboanga del Sur. And we, of course, we have with us po sa ating venue ngayon from Zamboanga City natin ng mga media partners. Hindi na po natin patatagalin. Muli po ang mga kasama natin for our program today. We have from the Office of Civil Defense, we have the Regional Director, Director Ramon Ochotarena, and of course we also have the head po of Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, Sir Louis J. Losaria. We would like to hear first po the message and of course yung ating mga accomplishments po at mga programa po from the PVAO in Region 9. Once again, we have Sir Louis J. Losaria. Welcome po, sir.
Good morning, Mamay. Director Ramon, good morning. And to the media partners, and for the people who are watching live right now, good morning po. I'm Louis J. Losaria from the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office here in Zamboanga, and we are located inside the Western Mindanao Command at Upper Calarian. And I'm glad that we were invited and given the chance to present to you our national accomplishments together with our regional accomplishments here in Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. And with that, please allow me to share with you our audiovisual presentation for our accomplishments.
The Philippine Veterans Affairs Office's mandate is based on the 1987 Philippine Constitution, which is linked to our national security, wherein as a grateful nation, the state shall provide immediate and adequate care, benefits, and other forms of assistance to war veterans and veterans of military campaigns, their surviving spouses, and orphans, and at the same time, propagate their heroic deeds to inspire our citizens, especially the youth, as the nation's champions of peace, justice, and prosperity. As of June 2024, PVAO has a total of 147,448 pensioners. For the geographical breakdown, the National Capital Region has 23,013 pensioners, or 15.61% of the total pensioners. The bulk of PVAO pensioners are from the rest of Luzon, which accounts to 47.69%, or 70,314 pensioners, while Visayas and Mindanao account to 12.93% and 21.92% respectively. 1.85% of PVAO pensioners, or 2,734, are currently residing abroad. We have three major programs in order to successfully fulfill our mission. First is the Veterans Welfare and Benefits Administration. Second is the Veterans Affairs Management. And third is the Veterans Memorial and Historical Preservation. PVAO's core activity under Program 1 includes 4 types of pension benefits, which are old age pension, death pension, disability pension, and total administrative disability pension. In addition, PVAO also provides the following non-pension benefits to veterans and their dependents. First, Veterans Hospitalization and Medical Care Program. Second, Educational Assistance. And third, Burial Assistance. Meanwhile, The Veterans Hospitalization and Medical Care Program aims to provide free hospitalization and medical care at the Veterans Memorial Medical Center and 382 accredited government and private hospitals nationwide. The program also gives medical assistance to veterans to cover their medical expenses in non-partner hospitals. This is a step towards achieving PVAO's advocacy that no veteran should pay for his or her own medical care. PVAO's second major program is the Management of Veterans Affairs that includes the following programs. The Veterans Empowerment Program, which is achieved by strengthening veterans organizations and building a unified Filipino veterans community. And Reforms in Veterans Corporate Governance Program by widening the participation of a majority of veterans in their corporate affairs and optimizing veterans' assets for their welfare. For Program 3, or the Veterans Memorial and Historical Preservation Program, the core activities include the preservation and development of national military shrines and recognition and memorialization of veterans through activities such as awarding the U.S. Congressional Gold Medal, commemoration of historical military events, partnerships with the Academe for our books and publications on Filipino heroism, and engaging private sector organizations and foundations in recognizing our veterans' self-sacrifice and valor. For PVAO's accomplishments, here are the updates on the two priority legislations of PVAO for fiscal year 2024, which are the rationalization of the disability pension and integration of a comprehensive study of Philippine history during World War II. In support of our hospitalization program, 2 completed veterans wards were inaugurated in the first semester of this year. These are located at the Region 1 Medical Center in Dagupan City, Pangasinan, and at the Southern Philippines Medical Center in Davao City. To date, we have 5 completed veterans wards, 4 of which are fully operational and have accommodated 106 veterans and dependents so far. The inauguration of the Veterans Ward located at the Eastern Visayas Medical Center in Tacloban City shall be scheduled within the 3rd quarter. As of now, the hospital is currently securing the building permit, which is being required before the Veterans Ward at the Eastern Visayas Medical Center can be operationalized. To better serve our PVAO pensioners residing outside NCR and those without nearby PVAO field service offices, we conducted validation and single ID caravan missions in North Luzon and Mindanao this year. These efforts have reached and provided services to over 4,000 clients. The commemoration of the 82nd Araw ng Kagitingan and the celebration of the 2024 Philippine Veterans Week highlighted the veterans-related commemorative events managed by PVAO in the first semester. PVAO also spearheaded 4 awarding ceremonies, including the one in Nueva Ecija for the conferment of U.S. Congressional Gold Medals to 145 Filipino World War II veterans, comprised of 64 living and 81 posthumous awardees. All in all, 33 U.S. CGM ceremonies in the country with a total of 1,053 awardees. Lastly, for our way ahead, we aim to improve our healthcare accessibility for our veterans with the establishment of additional 19 veterans wards for a total of 25 veterans wards across the country. 84.09% of the total 148,736 veterans and qualified dependents for VHMCP lives outside NCR. We already have 2 operational wards in Luzon, the Region 1 Medical Center in Pangasinan and Batangas Medical Center in Batangas. The Veterans Wards at the Eastern Visayas Medical Center in Leyte is set to begin operations by the end of the year. And for Mindanao, we have 2 operational wards, Northern Mindanao Medical Center in Cagayan de Oro and the Southern Philippine Medical Center in Davao. We also want to establish partnerships with different LGUs, schools, and other stakeholders to transform our shrines and commemorative events from static symbols of heroism into venues for people to come together and celebrate their history with pride and patriotism. One of the key projects under this program is to invest in Kagitingan builders or love for country infrastructure. These are iconic representations which commemorate and relive our heroes' valor and sacrifices for the country. These includes the establishment of new military shrines in the Visayas and Mindanao. Another cornerstone of this program is the recognition of our Filipino World War II veterans through awarding of the U.S. Congressional Gold Medal to more than 260,000 veterans, both living and posthumously. As we continue to serve our veteran heroes, PVAO is committed in achieving the empowerment of veterans and motivated future defenders. Maraming salamat at magandang araw.
And that was the video presentation po of the PVAO. But I believe we would also like to hear ano po yung mga updates locally here in Zamboanga Peninsula from Sir Louie.
In addition to our accomplishments here in Zamboanga Peninsula, our initiatives that we are so proud of just this year, we have extended our services already in Paghandaan City. We have established a service office inside the First Division in Bulacan, Labangan, wherein we have brought our programs and services. Mga pensioners namin doon, they can just go and update their pension and apply for claims applications. So, yun po.
Thank you very much po for the update, Sir Louie. Now we will proceed with the Office of Civil Defense. We are happy to have with us the Regional Director. We have Director Ramon Ochotorena.
Good morning, Ms. Myra. PIA, Philippine Information Agency Regional Director, Ms. Noemi Edaga, J. Losaria of the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, the media in the audience right now, and those watching us on live stream, as well as to the different viewers who are watching right now in our program. The Office of Civil Defense is grateful to the Philippine Information Agency for giving us this platform so that we can represent our principals from the Department of National Defense and that of the Office of Civil Defense and Central Office so that we can share the accomplishments, activities, as well as the milestone of our agency. And we will be able to share to the public what we have been doing here in Zamboanga Peninsula, not only at the national level. This year, the Office of Civil Defense is celebrating its 70th founding anniversary. And the theme for the celebration is celebrating 70 years of resiliency. This milestone is celebrating the agency's mission of serving the nation and protecting our people from the threats of both national and human-induced hazards and making our communities resilient from these threats, as well as building a sustainable future for our people here in our country. Once again, we would like to thank this opportunity given to us by the Philippine Information Agency so that we can have a face-to-face as well as we can be seen by our stakeholders and on this day, and we will be able, as I have said, we'll be able to share to you whatever that the Office of Civil Defense is doing here in Zamboanga Peninsula, and we are looking forward to a very fruitful Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Thank you.
Sa ito ay kinakailangan tayo na asenso, magsikap ng mabuti, nang kuminhawa tayo. Umalagi natin sa mundo at ipamalas ang bagong Pilipino, ang bagong Pilipinas.
And that was the presentation of the Office of Civil Defense. Thank you very much po, Director Ocho Torrena. Okay, we will now proceed with our question and answer portion. But of course, I will first read po yung ating mga questions online from our media partners po na nakatutok in Zamboanga Peninsula. First, we have a question from Sibugay Media. This is a question for Office of Civil Defense. How is the OCD po addressing the recent flooding in some barangays of Alicia and CI in Zamboanga, Sibugay, and other affected areas in the municipality which have impacted houses and schools?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. The Office of Civil Defense functions and operationalized functions are through what we call a council, and that is the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, of which the members are the different agencies of the government, of the national government, as well as that of the local government units, who are represented there by the different local disaster risk reduction and management officers. Okay. As regards to the problems of flooding on specific areas, the Office of Civil Defense can be tapped by the local government units if those problems of flooding in the respective areas cannot be handled anymore by the local government units or beyond their capability. The Office of Civil Defense can help them by providing technical assistance if they need the help of the Office of Civil Defense in crafting or making plans together with the different agencies of the government so that they can come up with a what we call as the plan for a specific area. For example, in the flooding, they can come up with a comprehensive plan on how to mitigate the effect of floodings in their respective localities, and then how they will be able to recover on a particular flooding incidents. For example, there are existing infrastructures or flood control infrastructures that were destroyed during the flooding, or that were devastated, they can ask from the Office of Civil Defense to help them in asking for funding coming from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Fund. So that is how the Office of Civil Defense can help the local government units so that they will be able to recover from the effects of this flooding in their respective areas. So these are usually what we call the long-range solution to these problems. But usually on short-term solutions to flooding problems will be usually handled by the local government units at their level. As I have said, if they cannot cope up already with that devastation, they can seek the help of the Office of Civil Defense. But it's not alone the Office of Civil Defense who will do the actions, the planning, but it will be through the council, the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council.
Thank you po. RD, we have a follow-up to that po. What new technologies or tools does the OCD use to enhance disaster preparedness and response?
Okay. There are so many tools or mechanisms that the Office of Civil Defense, not, as I have said, not only the Office of Civil Defense, that it involves so many agencies of the government. For example, for hydrometeorological hazards, or for a good example is for typhoons, no? The Office of Civil Defense is working together with the different agencies of the government. In particular, for hydrometeorological hazards, we usually tap the specialization of DOST with a specific bureau, which is the PAG-ASA. They will be giving warning signals or notifications when there is already an impending or imminent incidents of storms that will be going into direction of our country. So with that, the Office of Civil Defense can immediately, at our level in Zamboanga Peninsula, and under the direction also of our Office of Civil Defense Central Office, we will be taking into consideration the signals, the warning signals that they will be giving to us. For example, a brewing storm is there is a high probability of passing through our country. Immediately, we call up for what we call a pre-disaster risk assessment. What should the local government units, should they prepare, on what level of preparations they will make, so that when that particular storm will hit or will affect their areas, they will be able to mitigate the severe devastation that will be inflicted at a particular area by this storm. So immediately, the Office of Civil Defense will call for a meeting of the different local government units, different agencies of the government, so that we can immediately disseminate the information to the localities, and the people in the communities will be able to prepare. If the level of preparedness will be very, very high, we will call for a red alert status, and if it's a middle level alertness, we'll call for a blue alert, and if it calls only for a very low level of preparedness, we can have it at a light white level preparation. So in these preparations, at the local level, what we call as the Oplan Listo of the DLG will already be activated. And with the Operation Listo, there are already what we call guidelines on what the local government should be doing on a particular level of alertness that is being raised by the Office of Civil Defense. All of these preparations are guided by the forecast that is given by the science-based forecast given by PAG-ASA and other agencies of the government, like the MGB. Okay, if it is an earthquake, it will be rather for landslide, it will be MGB. For storms, it will be the Pag-asa under the DOST. And these are the things that we are doing right now, because we are limited only on these things. But there are studies that are being made by the different science-based agencies of the government that we hope it could improve on the present setup that we are applying right now.
Thank you po, RD. Next question po from Zamboanga del Sur. Current updates po for the community-based DRRM training. Lahat po ba ng barangay LGUs natin nakapag-undergo na po ng ganitong training, and paano po natin masisiguro na ang komunidad natin sa Zampen ay handa sa mga sakuna?
Okay. Community-based disaster risk reduction and management trainings are a continuing efforts by the Office of Civil Defense, so that everyone can have a high level of alertness on DRRM. Okay, so there are several trainings that we conducted. Not only trainings, but we also partner with the different agencies of the government, Pag-asa, DPWH, and other agencies of the government, so that we can come up with some educational materials, or the IAC. And then in the dissemination, we also tap the expertise of the Philippine Information Agency, so that there will the sharing of the information will be exponential. Rather, it can be everyone. No, it can be disseminated on a larger scale. So these are the things that we are doing, so that everyone will not be undergoing training. But before they can undergo training, they have already an advanced knowledge on the things that they will do when disasters or when effects of weather disturbances will hit their respective areas. We are trying our best to link with the different local government units, so that it's not only the Office of Civil Defense who will go down to the level of the communities, because we are only few. We try to train at the level of the provincial level, and then municipal level, at the city level, so that the different local disaster risk reduction and management officers in these localities will be the one who will re-echo or download this knowledge to the different barangays of the entire Zamboanga Peninsula. This is a continuing effort. I will not say that it's already 100% that we had covered all of this. All of these things, we cannot cover, as they say, every inch of the ground, but this is a continuing effort for us. And then at the level also of the municipalities, sometimes there are changes in people who will be handling a particular position. So when we trained one, and then he will be replaced with another personnel, so again, he will undergo another training. So this has come as a cycle, but we will not stop there. It is a continuing effort. It's a work in progress. We know it will never stop, because people do not maintain a position of particular expertise, because the dynamics in our local government units is continuously changing. So we just have to adapt this on this continuous changing of the guards in the different local government units, as well as in the different agencies of the government. But I can assure you that this is a continuing effort of the Office of Civil Defense. As I have said, it will never stop. It will be a continuing one.
Follow-up po, sir. May recent developments po ba on our National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Plan, and how are this aligned with the government's overall disaster resilience?
Okay. The National Disaster Resilience Plan is being updated, no? Considering that with the effects of climate change, the weather disturbances that has been happening right now, if you can observe, is quite changing already. if you can recall, several years ago, we only worry when there are storms. Okay, we are affected by weather disturbances, especially storms, because there will be flooding in our area. But the landscape the landscape right now is changing. There is a huge change in the effects of climate change, because for low pressure area, shear line, okay, we already feel floodings in our area. Okay, for example, in Zamboanga City, we can only feel effects of flooding when there is a strong storm, maybe, that will be passing through our area. Usually, 15 to 16 barangays is affected of flooding during those times when there is already a strong storm. Okay? And these areas are what we call the low-lying areas. These areas that are located in the plain area, kumbaga dito sa urban area, no, mamababa siya, and usually they are the coastal barangays, and then some of them located maybe several inches below sea level. So these are the ones that are affected. But right now, for a mere shear line, low pressure area, wala pang bagyo yun ha, we are experiencing heavy rainfall of rains, continuously raining for 2 hours, and it's not only to 15 to 17 barangays, but more than 1/2 of the total number of barangays in Zamboanga City is affected by flooding. Okay, so that is why our local disaster risk reduction plan is continuously updated by the different local government units. And that is where the Office of Civil Defense would come in. We will be assisting them, giving them the technical assistance, but giving them technical assistance would not be solely by the Office of Civil Defense, because we also tap the expertise also of the different agencies of the government. For example, for infrastructure, we also tap the expertise of the engineers of DPWH, okay, the inputs of the NEDA, the inputs of DOSD, the MGB, and the science-based expertise also of the different agencies of the government. So with that, as a collegial body, we work together and come up with plans. We come up with some updated version of the local disaster risk reduction plan of the different local government units. As I have said, the local government units can work jointly with the Office of Civil Defense and with the other agencies of the government. So we continuously update the local disaster risk reduction plan or management of the different local government units.
Thank you po. Still from Zamboanga del Sur Media, this is for PIVAW naman po. May mga recent developments or legislative updates po ba concerning veterans benefits that the public should be aware of?
It was just recently last year, yung CDD natin na pension is na-increase na po ito from 1,700 to 10,000 pesos. So ito na po yung natatanggap na monthly pension ng ating mga pensioners who have retired CDD with disability. Opo.
Follow-up po, bakit wala pong Veterans Ward for Region 9? May plano po bang magpatayo din ng ward for the region?
Yes po, just recently rin, may natanggap rin kaming intent with that from the Premier Medical Center Zamboanga na they are willing to establish a dedicated ward for our veterans, and we are ongoing rin with consultation with our central office with that intent na hopefully talaga may ma-establish rin tayong veterans ward for Zamboanga Peninsula. But currently, while waiting for that, we have already a MOA with Brent Hospital wherein our veterans can have their admission there and automatically may enjoy nila yung VHMCP program po natin.
That's good to hear po. Next po, we have from Basilan Media naman, still for PVAW. What is the PVAW pension for the deceased and how to avail this benefit?
The pension for the deceased veteran shall be transferred if mag-expire nga yung veterano to the surviving spouse, and then it can be availed through submission of application. Need lang ng surviving spouse establish yung filiation niya as the legal wife or the first wife ng veterano. For Christian claimants, so basically dapat siya yung unang pinakasalan. And for the Muslim claimants, at least we consider 4 marriages. 4 marriages na yun, as long as it's all valid, maghahati yung 4. And for the Christian claimant natin, dapat siya yung first wife, kasi to some cases may mga second wife and so on. So before mag-engage, dapat si veterano ng second or third, at least deceased na yung first marriage niya. Kasi yung mga succeeding nun, magiging null and void eh. So for that, first claimant yung asawa. So ang dadalhin niya sa opisina is the death certificate ng veteran as proof of deceased. Member na yung veterano. Marriage contract from PSA and CIMAR or the Form 5 ng veterano and surviving spouse and 2 valid IDs.
Thank you very much po for sharing that. Last na lang po from Zamboanga del Norte. In terms of disaster preparations, we are well equipped with quarterly NSEDs or nationwide simultaneous earthquake drills. But how about other natural disasters such as landslides and tsunamis, especially in Zamboanga del Norte where majority of the municipalities and cities are coastal areas? Are there plans po ba on making these drills quarterly then for a more holistic disaster preparation?
Okay. Our national simultaneous earthquake drill, the purpose of which is really to raise the level awareness and then the knowledge, raise the knowledge of our people that what they are going to do when earthquake will occur in a particular area. Considering that we do not have instruments right now, we do not have gadgets right now that can detect earthquake. Okay, but given a situation like that, we will not be limiting it to the what we call the muscle memory exercise of duck cover and hold, because this is usually the things that we do when there is an earthquake. But beyond that, we also look into the what we call the engineering solution. Okay, the Office of Civil Defense would ensure, for example, we are building evacuation centers so that it can address the needs of people who are victims of calamities, not only flooding but fires, human-induced hazards, as well as victims maybe or the evacuees from impending warnings of tsunami. So usually we advise people to evacuate in a particular area. So that is why we are building right now evacuation centers in the different areas of Zamboanga Peninsula, so that there will be a place of refuge of people who will be where they can stay, and all their needs are being provided for in that particular area. Unlike before, where we usually use the public schools as evacuation centers. So, for the succeeding national simultaneous earthquake drill, little by little, what we call baby steps you are undertaking from an earthquake drill. We incorporate sometimes the tsunami drill, okay? Eventually, later on, there will be a simultaneous drill on earthquake plus the tsunami drill, okay? But you have so many consideration studies that are being made, because during drills, we also consider the safety of the people who will be participating in drills. Because in the drills, there will be a real scenarios that are being undertaken. Okay, we are selecting a portion of the population, for example, students, and then sometimes fisher folks in a particular area who will be participating. So different agencies of the government are looking into and studying, maybe on the safety side of it, if ever we incorporate tsunami drills in this activity or endeavors, we also look into the safety of the participants. But just like the updating of our local disaster risk reduction management plans, all these things are being updated also. We are not confined to NSED or National Simultaneous Earthquake Drill for earthquake only, but eventually it will be extended or it will be included the tsunami drill. Okay? So another thing is we also consider the solution engineering. No? The solution engineering is to identify together with the DOST, the PAG-ASA or the PBOX, on the different faults that are existent in our area. So there will be a walkthrough to these faults because, for example, in Zamboanga Peninsula, we have 3 earthquake generators, Sulu Trench, Cotabato Trench, but we cannot walk through the Sulu Trench and Cotabato Trench because these are in the high seas. But for the Mindanao fault system, this cuts through Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga del Norte. So these are the things where we can have a walkthrough to this fault so that we will be able to know and identify these areas that will be affected when earthquakes will be affecting in these areas. So these are the things we consider that together with NGB, they can pinpoint areas where areas that should, where edifices should not be built or structures should not be built because this is the most frequent hit by earthquakes or affected by earthquakes. Aside from the walkthrough to the faults, we work closely with the regulatory agencies of the government. Whenever edifices or buildings are being built in a particular or constructed in a particular area, we ensure that the regulatory and the agencies that coming out with guidelines, whatever is to be adhered to or guidelines in constructing building, we ensure that we will be working closely with these government agencies. Okay. Another thing is under the engineering solutions, because we have so many in our plans, we have some assumptions. No? For example, at the national level, when a 7.8 earthquake will occur in Metro Manila, it is an assumption that several individuals will perish. But should we accept this possibility? Of course, we do not want to accept that possibility. So the Office of Civil Defense is coming out with some measures so that we can prevent the occurrence of this what you call unfortunate incidents that many would perish when a strong earthquake will affect our area. So as I have said, because in duck cover and hold, we should usually go out of an edifice and we gather in one area, in a clear area. How about if there is no clear area in that place? And then the edifice would collapse. So with us doing the duck cover and hold, we will still be affected by the earthquake or we can still become victims. So these are the things that we consider in coming up or updating our plans on earthquake as well as hydrometeorological hazards and other disasters that might affect our area. So as I have said, if we have already a plan for the specific, rather contingency plan for a specific disaster or specific hazard, we will not stop on that particular contingency plan because the landscape are changing, as I have said. Storms is becoming very strong, and then shear line or low pressure area is different right now because 5 years ago, if you have a continuous rain, but it's not heavy rains, but right now, when there is a shear line or low pressure area, continuous rains will provide, or we would rather heavy rains, continuous rains for 2 hours will already affect several barangays that were not experiencing flooding before. So those are the things we consider in the planning process that we are doing with the Office of Civil Defense 9 together with the other agencies of the government as well as of the local government units.
All right, thank you very much po, sir. We will now proceed with the question po from our media partners who are with us po ngayon sa ating venue from Zamboanga City. First, we have a question from Sir Regino de los Santos of RPN.
Yes, magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Para kay Sir RD Ochotorena, sir. This year pa, sir, sa buong Region 9, sa city, munisipyo, meron ba tayong datos na ito ngayong nangyari na ulan, malala talaga? May datos ba tayo daw kung ano pa talaga yung malala, yung mga damage nangyari po dito?
Okay, if you are referring sa yung hydrometeorological, siguro sa storm, yung data. Yeah, we have data on that, no? But I do not have it right now because these are specific and details. But our data is a consolidation of data coming from the different agencies of the government. For example, if you are asking for a data who are affected, crops that were affected, the total amount of crops that were affected in the entire Zamboanga Peninsula during the affectation of El Nino phenomenon. Okay, siyempre may mga crops na mga nasira, okay, livestock, and so on and so forth. So, we get the data from the Department of Agriculture, okay, kung may mga, what you call this, for example, fire incidents, no, on data on the victims and the number of houses that will burn to the ground, of course, we connect with the Bureau of Fire Protection. So, usually our data would be a collation of data coming from the different agencies of the government, because we use this in the planning process on how to mitigate the adverse or devastating effect of either floodings or fire incidents that will be happening in the area.
Hello, Mike.
Doon tayo sa landslide po, meron tayong, may naalaala tayo dito sa buong region, sa landslide.
Data on landslide?
Kahit na specific yung data, may yung nangyari talaga, yung hindi mo talaga makakalimutan yun kasi yung landslide na may namatay sa buong region 9.
Okay, on the incidents of landslide in a particular, what you call this, locality, okay, we usually resort and get the data or collect data rather from the different local disaster risk reduction and management officers, what we term as LDRIM-OS, no, yung mga LDRIM officers natin. We get a data from them because they are on the ground, they can immediately get the exact and the detailed data coming from the ground. And then it becomes official if it comes from that particular LDRIM officer. But it does not limit our source to LDRIMOS because we can also connect with the Philippine National Police. We can connect with the different agencies whose mandate requires them to collect data out of these incidents. Okay.
Thank you po.
For example, yung sa mga landslide, sinasabi mo landslide, we can get data from NGB, especially on barangays that are prone to landslides, no? We can get from them. Okay, for the victims, of course, we can get from the police, from the LDRIM officers.
Okay, thank you. Punta man tayo kay Sir sa Pibaw. Sir, sa buong Region 9, meron pa tayong datos na mga retired na mga military o police datos. Ilan po sila lahat?
Number of veterans, sir?
Yes, actually.
Okay po. Total po ng pensioners natin for Region 9 is around 11,600. But if we're going to be specific with the numbers, for the veterans, we have 3,302. For the surviving spouses, yung mga asawa po nila, we have 3,385. And yung mga nagpe-pension ng death pension, around 2,147. And yung mga CDD pensioners, we have 305.
Sir, clarification lang. Ito po mga pensioner, is depends sa kanilang rango kung dapat nilang tatanggapin na pension?
Hindi po, sir. For PVAW, they are receiving 5,000 pesos monthly, regardless of the years of service and their military ranks. Yung idea nyo po na nalalaman na may specific rank and it goes with that specific pension na natatanggap, sa ibang opisina po yun, which is handled by AFP. And that section is AFP PGMC. So kapag nag-retire po sila, may natatanggap po sila automatically na pension doon. For PVAW, they are starting to receive their pension, old age pension, at the age of 65 years old. But however, for the surviving spouses, pag nag-expire yung veterano at hindi pa nag-65 years old, automatically, susunod na magpe-pension yung surviving spouse.
Okay. Thank you po.
Thank you po. Next question po from Ma'am Letty Melitante of Zamboanga Today.
Good morning po. Sir, I understand the Office of the Civil Defense is the implementing arm of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management. And earlier, during the first quarter of the current year, 2024, particularly last January, there was a plan from OCD to modernization and boosted capabilities for the current year, 2024. From 0 to 100%, may we ask you what stages are you in? What are the developments being implemented in as far as modernization and capabilities are concerned?
Okay. As you have mentioned, we are the implementing arm of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. Okay. There are developments that are being done for modernization of the Office of Civil Defense. At the central level, first, we have expanded already the organizational setup of the Office of Civil Defense. At the national level, at the central office, so we have an additional 2 positions of, that is for personnel, no? To cater the needs of the Office of Civil Defense. We have an additional assistant secretaries to handle on partnerships, international partnerships, and to handle also on public affairs. So that means they have found out that we lack the connection with the information officers, the media, and we lack the wide dissemination of the things that the people should know about the workings of the Office of Civil Defense. So that is aside from the ASEC for administration and ASEC for operations. Okay. Aside from that, in order to improve the training programs of the training and education programs of Office of Civil Defense, they have already activated the training institute. No, it will be a baby steps, considering that maintaining a training institute would involve the utilization of many manpower. You need resource persons. You need educators to handle the jobs there, but they are already activating the training institutes. Okay, together with the activating the training institute that will handle trainings of the different personnel, so that we can upgrade the knowledge and the skills of our personnel at the Office of Civil Defense. They have the central office would not only limit the expansion or strengthening of the Office of Civil Defense at the national level, but they wanted also to strengthen the Office of Civil Defense in the different regions. So together with that, they started with infrastructure. If you can recall, Office of Civil Defense 9 is only renting office here in Zamboanga City. Okay? But with the strengthening of the different regional offices, we already have our own home. Unfortunately, it's not here in Zamboanga City, but it's located in Paghandaan City at the regional, considering that Paghandaan is now the regional center. So we have a two-in-one facility in which is the regional office in Paghandaan City. So we have an office there and we have a warehouse in Paghandaan City. Aside from the other regions of the country wherein they are already building, the central office already building several regional offices throughout the country. Okay, so these are some of the developments that are being done here in Office of Civil Defense. On the aspect of strengthening our collaboration with the different agencies of the government, we expanded. Okay, most of our personnel are being sent, okay, outside of the country, so that we will be at par with the DRRM setups of the other Southeast Asian countries. So they are sent there for trainings, they are sent there for seminars and other activities that will enhance and improve the skills and knowledge of our personnel. And when they come back, they are the ones also utilized in the training institutes who will be disseminating all the things that we have learned from abroad. So these are some of the developments that are being done here in Office of Civil Defense.
You know, sir, natural disasters from heavy rains down to typhoons, floodings, tsunamis, and earthquake. How capable are we right now? Are we prepared for the big one as declared by PhilBox?
Okay, the big one, the preparation for the big one, especially in Metro Manila, if it can be hit by 8.9 intensity earthquake, okay. There is a plan for that, and Zamboanga Peninsula or Office of Civil Defense 9 or the entire Zamboanga Peninsula is designated as an assisting region. Whenever, if ever, but God forbids it will happen in Metro Manila, we are an assisting region. That means we provide assistance to the population of Metro Manila with it will be hit by the big one, the 8.9 intensity earthquake. So that is the plan that is being executed during drills, no, that are being conducted. But when you conduct a drill at this as big as the 8.9 intensity earthquake that might hit Metro Manila, you cannot immediately mobilize a big number of people who will go to Metro Manila. Okay, the drills are made or being conducted in such a way that some of our personnel will go there, but not the entire personnel coming from Office of Civil Defense 9. There was a continuing drill that is being made, but for a small number of personnel coming from the different areas of the country. And then we will be assisting because Metro Manila is divided into 4 quadrants. So we are, Region 9 will be assisting 1 quadrant, and then other regions will be assisting different areas in Metro Manila when that time will happen. Drills are being made, but as I have said, we do not stop there. The Office of Civil Defense do not stop there. We are also trying to communicate and trying to enjoin the population, the communities, and local government units that beyond these drills, these duck cover and hold, and any other drills that being conducted, we have to go into engineering solution, because these are the very important things that should be done so that we will be not only making our people resilient to these threats of hazards, natural and human-induced hazards, but we can be resilient in terms also on the edifices that are being constructed in one locality.
Okay, sir. Lastly, sir, this is concerning about, in the absence of a mega evacuation center in Zamboanga City, what are disadvantages when it comes to natural disaster?
First of all, we have an evacuation center here in Zamboanga City, in Kabatangan. Okay? We have one evacuation center.
I'm referring, sir, to a mega evacuation center
A
because PhilBox recently announced that it is more than half of the total 98 barangays in Zamboanga City will be affected. So the evacuation center along Kabatangan is not enough to cater the evacuees.
Okay, there is no plan yet of a mega evacuation center that will be made in Zamboanga City, but if that happens, the City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office of Zamboanga City can come up with plans aside from the existing evacuation center here in Kabatangan, which is an all-hazard evacuation center. That means it's not only for victims of earthquake, for fires, no, or other calamities. It can be utilized also on people who are victims of other unfortunate incidents. So the CDMO can maybe utilize some edifices or in some Zamboanga has a large tract of lands, no? In Zamboanga City. In fact, we have requested for from the city government for the OCD to be given a tract of land so that we could construct a warehouse, no? It's a work in progress. Zamboanga City, I have talked with Mayor Dalipe, and they are already on the process of looking for a lot here in Zamboanga City, and then Office of Civil Defense 9, if given that tract of land, we'll be constructing a warehouse so that we can preposition non-food items here in Zamboanga City, because food items are being positioned already by the DSWD. So we ask for that so that we can construct a warehouse here in Zamboanga City. And if occurrences of unfortunate incidents, maybe fire or other calamities that might happen in Zamboanga City, the relief goods will not be coming anymore from Pagadian City because we have a big warehouse. It will be prepositioned already in Zamboanga City.
Okay, thank you po.
Thank you po. Next po, Ma'am Lea Ruiz of eMedia.
Good morning, sir. For OCD Regional Director, sir, what are the most significant challenges OCD faces in disaster management dito po sa Zamboanga City, and how has OCD adapted its strategies to overcome these challenges po?
Okay, the significant change may be yung effect of what we call the climate change, no? Because before, as I have said a while ago during the introductory opening of our discussion on Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas, I have mentioned there that before, we are not affected by floodings, no? Especially for high-rise barangays located in high area. Usually when there are strong typhoons already, it's the time that, or heavy rains, about 15 to 16 barangays are affected by floodings. But right now, for strong rains, and then we do not have yet storms, but when there are continuous rains, almost half of the number of barangays in Zamboanga City is affected. No? Not only of the low-lying barangays, but also it includes the areas that are in high-rise areas. Okay, so this changes is already affecting, considering that the drainage system in Zamboanga City was built maybe a decade ago, so it cannot anymore accommodate the volume of water that will be falling from heavy rains. So, and then the rivers, no, maybe because of siltation, so it is shallow already. So when there is velocity, okay, big volume of water that will flow on these rivers, so it cannot accommodate already the volume water. So the natural tendency, it will overflow. When river overflows, it will cause flooding on the nearby barangays that are located in the banks of the river. So it will really affect the people who are living near these areas. So these are the challenges that we're facing right now, and we work closely with the SIDRIMO, with the local government units on how we can address these particular concerns. But right now, I think I will not belabor too much on the actions that were being made by the local government units. But right now, I think the local governments, they have the capability to come up with some projects. I think they have constructed some flood control infrastructures along the rivers, no, so that flooding can be prevented. And bridges are being, those that were destroyed during the Paeng, no? Storm Paeng, because many road infrastructures as well as bridges were affected, that is being repaired by local government unit. But we have an impending request. It's a 1 billion rehabilitation of the flood control infrastructure, starting from Barangay Anuling, going down to Tumaga. No? Tumaga, it involves, I think, 7 barangays. But it's still being reviewed at the national level because it involves a huge amount of, So I think they're carefully studying it. I hope it can be approved with the representation maybe of some of our local leaders. I hope it will meet the expectations and it can be approved at the national level. So these are the things you are looking into.
Hello. Follow-up naman po, sir. Other question po. What training naman po, training programs are available to residents of Zamboanga City to better prepare for them for natural disasters? Training programs po, sir. What training programs are available to residents of Zamboanga City to better prepare them for natural disasters?
Okay. There are several trainings provided for the Office of Civil Defense. First, especially for local leaders. Okay. Local leaders, the local chief executives, our legislators, and then the different chiefs of the different offices of the local government units, and then maybe supervisory positions in the private sector. We offer this very important tool of disaster risk reduction management, and it's the training of incident command system. This is an all-incident and hazard training, because this particular training goes into giving knowledge to a particular person, to a particular leader, on how to manage situations like disaster incidents. Okay? So we encourage really our local leaders, our heads of the different agencies of the government to undergo in this particular training. But there is a challenge on this, because these people are very busy. No? They cannot attend on a 5-day training, and then after they have done a first level, and there is another level of another 5 days, and so on and so forth. So practically, if you finish the entire incident command system up to level 5, it will consume about almost a month. Okay? So these are the challenges. But to solve this, the Office of Civil Defense came up with an executive incident command system. And this is for 1 day only. So they will attend on this. They are given a capsulized view of the incident command system so that considering that our local leaders, yung mga heads of offices natin, they have been exposed already to this kind of environment. So mabigyan naman lang sila ng bird's eye view on how this is being done, and they can do it already on the field. For the other people, you can gain knowledge by participating in the activities that is being done quarterly, monthly by the Office of Civil Defense. One of these is National Simultaneous Earthquake Drill. We encourage people to participate on this because when you know the things that you will do, when there is a calamity that will be affecting your area, at least you can save your own life. And saving your own life, you can also save the life of your neighbors. And then when you know what to do during a calamity, it can you can save some of your properties maybe. For example, may mga storm ganyan, may mga flooding, you can immediately evacuate because you know it will affect your properties. You can bring out from your house your what you call this important things that you have to save. So it will you can save things, no? Economically, hindi ka na mabibili ng ibang bagay. So these are the things that you should participate on this. And there are several other trainings that are being given, especially for the different agencies of the government. Meron kaming contingency planning, no? These are trainings for the different agencies of the government, so that when a disaster will happen in the government, in a particular area will happen, and then your agency or your office will be affected, at least when you have a contingency planning, when you have this plan, the services that will be provided to the people in a particular area will still be continuing. So hindi mag-stop yung opisina mo because you are affected by a disaster. So many trainings that can be availed to sa Office of Civil Defense. And then one of that is involving so many people as what you call the community-based disaster risk reduction and management training. This can be availed to by the people in the locality. But since we are few only, we disseminate or we train people from the different LDRIMOs, and they are the ones who will cascade this to the different localities or communities.
Last question po for PVAW. What measures naman, sir, are in place to ensure that veterans in Zamboanga City are well informed about the benefits and services available them through PVAW po?
Aside from partnering with PIA, because the last time we had our Kapihan also, and we also informing the pensioners about their pensions and their benefits. We are also very active in social media and prompt on answering their questions. We have our own Facebook page, and we are also partnering with our veterans organizations. We have this Veterans Federation of the Philippines. So majority of our pensioners or veterans have this kind of group in every some district post, and they have this regionalized also. So we partner with them on all informations and updates. So say for example, the establishment of our service office in Paghandaan, the way we announce our schedules, because it is not manned every day. We just go there every month. We travel twice a month and Monday to Tuesdays only. So the way of downloading that information that the pensioners can go to the service office is through the Veterans Federation of the Philippines. So we inform them ahead of time with regards to our schedules, so for them to know kung kailan sila magpapa-update and mag-a-apply ng pensions. That's it po.
Thank you po. Next question po from Ma'am Sara Tulabing of the XAS.
Sir Louie, good morning po.
Morning.
Isang tanong lang po, may mga reasons po ba or mga dahilan na pwedeng ma-disqualify ang isang veteran para sa mga pension benefits before siya maging pensioner and during?
Before magiging pensioner, we require them dapat at least nakakomply sila sa required years of service. So for now, we define veterans na nakapag-serve ng at least 20 years of active military service. So pag hindi na nila makomplyan, hindi na sila pwedeng mag-qualify. However, we have also an existing applications for PC and PNP. So for those pensioners na nakapag-Philippine Constabulary noon, we required them to have at least 6 years na nakapag-serve sa PC before na-absorb to PNP. And then yung mga PN, Philippine Navy, na nag-transfer to PCG or absorb to PCG, pwede rin silang makapag-file for old age pension basta may at least 6 years. Yung mga hindi makapag-comply ng 6 years, automatically hindi yan pwede. And to some cases, like mga AWOL, absence without leave, kasi they would somehow justify na nakapag-serve naman kami ng more than 6 years. But however, the mode of discharge is dishonorable. So hindi yan sila pwede. So during naman, na-terminate yung pension most likely kapag deceased yung pensioners or hindi sila nagpapa-update annually. So dapat kasi yung mga pensioners natin nag-a-appear or nagva-validate ng kanilang mga pension annually para hindi po ito maputol the next year. So that's also a one way of reminding the pensioners who are watching right now na that's part of their obligation. Kasi sometimes biniblame or pinuput into like, bakit hindi nyo kami tinext, hindi nyo kami in-inform, wherein that's parang automatic na responsibility nila on their end na they are receiving monthly pension. So that's an obligation also for you na ma-maintain yung pension mo to update every year. What?
Update.
Ang updating po natin, parang naging isang tulong rin yung COVID that time for us to formulate various updating system. May way po tayo na makapag-video conference or through Zoom, dedicatedly, especially sa mga pensioners natin living abroad. Kung hindi man through online, pwede silang kumuha or mag-download ng personal pensioners updating form through our website, and then may requirements lang doon, or mag-walk-in sila kung kaya nila sa office, and then we will be taking their biometrics. And then, like, siguro 5 minutes maximum, kaya na nilang ma-update within that day.
Po.
Thank you po. Last po from Mama Rita Espartero of TV11.
Sir, good morning.
Morning.
Okay. Yung question ko po is about after 48 years from 1976, 8.1 magnitude earthquake na hit dito sa Zamboanga City. How far is OCD-9 in earthquake and tsunami preparedness in terms of programs and resiliency?
Okay. At first, we already crafted the contingency plan for earthquake for Zamboanga Peninsula. So this was a work, I think it took 2 years, no? Crafted by the different member agencies of the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council 9. So this has been approved already. It was submitted to central office, and then it was already disseminated to the different member agencies or RDRIMC, and then of course, it will be disseminated to the different local disaster risk reduction and management offices. So there are some actions, there are some measures that are being adopted, that can be adopted by the people who will be affected by earthquakes. But of course, we have to understand that there are no gadgets, there are no instruments yet, science-based, that can predict the occurrence of earthquake. So these are some of the challenges, and these are some, we are shortchanged really on our contingency plan, because unlike hydrometeorological incidents or hazards, 3 days before we will know already that a storm will be coming to our to the Philippine area of responsibility. But for earthquake, it will just happen anytime, any day, night, no, and be inform also that earthquake is occurring daily in our country. It's only that we do not feel it because the intensity sometimes are 2, 3. No, for last month we had 2 earthquakes in Zamboanga Peninsula, somewhere in Zamboanga del Sur, and one in Zamboanga Simbugay. But these are very low intensity, so we do not feel it, no, personally. But some of the gadgets of P-Box were able to record it. So with that, another contingency plan for tsunami is still underway because it's not only a product of the work of the Office of Civil Defense. It's a work of the different member agencies of ARDRIM C9. So it's a continuing work that is being done. But what was finalized was the contingency plan for earthquake. Rather for tsunami, no, na reverse pala, for tsunami. But for the earthquake, continuing pa yon. Because we are considering yung pronouncements na what if Zamboanga Peninsula, the earthquake generator, especially the Mindanao fault system, will be the one that will shake. So it will give a very strong, it will generate a very strong earthquake of in Zamboanga Peninsula. So these are the things that are being considered.
Sir, what mechanism and protocols do we need to be resilient? Can you enumerate 3 important aspects?
On
Protocols and mechanism to be resilient.
On hydrometeorological?
Could be.
Okay. On the measures to be undertaken?
Yes po.
Okay. For example, on hydrometeorological hazards for storms. Okay. We have adopted these measures. One would be we have these protocols that we have to follow. Okay. In these protocols, there are so many activities that will be done. It will be dependent if the area will be based on a higher level of alertness, or either it's higher level of alertness or low level of alertness. I'll give one example. If one area is given on a very high level of alertness, the activities that will be done by a local government unit is to conduct a forced evacuation of people, especially those who are living along the river banks. Though they are forcibly evacuated from that area. Okay. For other people living far from the banks of the river banks, they will be advised to be on alert. Okay. The local government units would advise them. And for those maybe who are living farther from those areas, will be advised to prepare for food maybe for several days, because you will not be able to go out because heavy rains will be falling, and then there are tendencies of landslide that will be happening in that area. So these are the things that will be followed by the people in a particular area. And at the local level, meron din tayong sinasabi sa DILG, meron din sila yung uplan listo. So there are also several preemptive measures, or what you call proactive measures that will be conducted by the people in those areas, so that they will not be victims of maybe floodings or any other natural calamities.
Lastly, to my end po, how do you rate CDRRMO in their preparations for earthquake and tsunami in terms of structural and non-structural program?
Okay, the city DRRMO, I cannot rate it on a particular incident of hazard, no. But I would like to inform you that last year, based on the Gawad Kalasag, because Gawad Kalasag is an award being given by Office of Civil Defense 9 for local government units who have achieved, okay, very high achievement on their DRRM governance. Okay? So, aside from being an award, it is a process in which it can gauge the performance of every local government units. Last year, among the ilang cities ba tayo nationwide? Among the cities nationwide, Zamboanga City is number 1 on DRRM governance. Okay? Last year, that is 2020, gauging 2022 to 2023. Okay, number 1. Another number 2 is Dipolog City. Okay? That is on DRRM governance. Number 3 is a city somewhere in Laguna. Number 4 is in a city somewhere in Mindoro. Okay. And number 5 is Makati City. So that means our cities here in Zamboanga Peninsula, when it comes to DRRM governance, is at par with the other cities of the country. But we have another round of Gawad Kalasag that will be coming out with the results by December pa. So we will know. I cannot give, I do not want to preempt the results of this because this is not an award given by OCD alone, but this is given by a group, a collegial body of the different agencies of the government, assessing all the performance of the different local government units, submitting it to the national level committee, who will be assessing the performance of the different DRRM governance of the different local government units.
Pero pag kayo po personally mag-rate from 1 to 10, saan po yung CDRRM mo para sa inyo?
In Zamboanga City?
Yeah, through your assessment lang po.
Personal, ano ko lang?
Opo.
Okay, maybe 8? 8, yeah.
Thank you po.
Thank you po. Last na lang po, we have Ma'am Mara Andico of XFM.
Hi sir, good morning.
Yes.
Ito po yung tanong is, gaano po ba kami dapat kahanda sa mga darating na disaster? Since we already know that we have a lot of floods from our experience, of course, and how prepared should the civil defense for it?
Okay, let it be a mindset that the problems of flooding, okay, flooding and other natural calamities can be solved on a short-term solution. Okay, so it cannot be done also by one agency of the government, but it will be a collaborative efforts of all agencies of the government. And if we wanted to have a period on problems of flooding, really, we should resort to a long-term solution. Okay. That long-term solution should be, we'll be coming up with a plan, okay, through the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, because the plan will be done by the different agencies of the government. If it's in flooding, it will involve NIA, it will involve DPWH, MGP, NEDA, and so on and so forth. So many agencies that has technical people and know-how on these particular things. It will be a plan that is in coordination with each other, and that plan maybe would come up with what we call, sometimes we can call it as a watertight plan, that finally it can solve the flooding problem here in Zamboanga City. Based on the findings of previous crafting of some, in order to solve, mga pa lang, group discussions and so on and so forth, one of the findings was that we have plenty of drainage system here in the city, but we do not have an exit, especially one of the comments of the mayor, we have so many drainage system, but we do not have an exit for this drainage system. Okay, our drainage system today were done few decades ago. So it cannot anymore accommodate the volume of water that will be caused by heavy rains. So that is a problem. Okay, our rivers also cannot accommodate when there are heavy rains because of siltation. So our rivers are becoming shallow, and then it's not wide anymore. It becomes, because others are constructing some on the river banks. So the river cannot anymore accommodate the volume of water. When there is a big volume of water that will be passing through the rivers, so the natural tendency, it will overflow. Okay, so that will be the result. So I think we have really to resort to a long-term solution of this, and a plan that will be inclusive, okay, comprehensive, so that it can cover all the challenges, can cover all the what you call this, some of the problems that are being encountered in these areas. Okay.
Thank you very much po. Once again, maraming salamat po sa lahat nating mga media partners. That concludes our Q&A portion. With that, we would like to hear a few parting message po from our resource persons po nakasama natin ngayon sa programa. First, let's hear po from Sir Louis J. Losaria from the head po of PVAO in Zampen.
First, I would like to thank PIA for organizing the event, and thank you for inviting us. Thank you for the media who have raised their questions. And parting message ko lang po is to remind our pensioners to visit our office for updating and other claims related. It should be transacted within our office. So let's avoid going to or asking help to other people na baka it might lead na maging ma-fixer pa kayo or taking advantage on your pensions. And also reminders to keep your validation na gawin natin every year to avoid termination or suspension of your pension. So that's it, and we'll try our best to really push na maging, hopefully magkaroon tayo ng Pagadian Annex, and we will also try to consider Dipolog in the future na maging service officer natin. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly po, let's hear from the Regional Director of OCD 9, Director Ocho Torrena.
Once again, thank you very much to the Philippine Information Agency 9 and also to the Presidential Communications Office, who is the one spearheading this activity, for having the Office of Civil Defense 9 as guest in Kapihan sa Bagong, Pilipinas. And allow me to convey these important words coming from the Office of Civil Defense 9. As we move forward in an area where hazards and disasters have become more dynamic due to the effects of climate change, let us continue to strengthen our preparedness by capacitating ourselves and our communities with the necessary knowledge and skills to effectively reduce and manage disaster risks. Let us also invest in effective prevention and mitigation measures to lessen the effects of hazards, thereby preventing them from becoming disasters. So this is the most important one. We have to prevent hazards from becoming disasters. There are so many hazards that might be existing in our communities. We look into this, and as early as now, we come up with some mitigation and prevention measures so that we can prevent disasters in the future. Together, let us face the challenge with utmost vigor, dynamism, and dedication, because only then we can achieve a safer, climate, adaptive, and disaster-resilient Bagong Pilipinas if we work hand-in-hand towards sustainable development. Once again, muchas gracias a todos. Magandang umaga uli sa inyong lahat at maraming salamat.
Muli po, maraming salamat, Regional Director Ramon Ocho Torrena from the OCD, and maraming salamat po ang mga attached agencies po ng Department of National Defense, the Office of Civil Defense, and the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office here in Region 9. Thank you once again po sa lahat nating mga viewers and media partners all over Zamboanga Peninsula. Once again, nagpapasalamat po kami sa ngalan po ng Presidential Communications Office Secretary Cheloy Garafil and PIA Director General Jose Torres Jr. and Regional Director Ms. Noemi Edaga. Magkita-kita po tayo sa mga susunod pang episodes ng Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Ito si Myra Espinosa. Muchísimas gracias.